Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome aboard Life Launchpad, your go-to channel for practical advice and guidance to launch your dreams into reality. I'm your host, Andrew Savina, back again with another video, and I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day because, enjoy every day. You have nothing but the present. That's why it's called the present. Today's video, we are talking about the difference between commitment and interest, and, what comes from each one of them and why it's important to know the difference and, better prepare and inform yourself on, are you committed to something or are you just interested to something? Because sometimes you might think you're committed to something or you might think you're interested in something, and you should turn that interest into a commitment, or you should take that commitment and just leave it an interest. I'm going to get into it. Without any further ado, let's hop right into it. So for the first thing we're going to hop into is commitment. If we're talking commitment, interest, you're going to have to talk about one, talk about the other. The first one we're going to talk about is commitment. And what is commitment? In short, commitment is a deep pledge. No, I'm not talking pledgeship. I know I'm in a fraternity, not pledgeship. It's a pledge to yourself that you're going to go through with something. You're going to take the time, you're going to take the effort, you're going to put the work in to work towards a goal or something that you want to accomplish and you want to commit to, so that you can see results and go from there, and not just half-ass it, just actually commit and put in the time and effort that is needed to get to that goal. With this, there's the general understanding and realization that this is a long-term goal. You might not see results for months, maybe even years, but you are going into this knowing that you are taking the long route for something and working towards something. I'm gonna quote Andrew Tate, but he says, value comes from something that is difficult and hard to obtain, not something that's easy and anybody can reach. Otherwise, it wouldn't be valuable. And that's really true, because realistically, everybody can open a door. That's not valuable. As long as you have a hand, an arm, working arm, you can open a door. But not everybody can start their own business and grow it from zero to $1 million. That's valuable. That's putting time and work into something, and that's a long-term commitment. The final important fact that comes with, commitment is that it involves sacrifice. You're gonna have to sacrifice your time that you spend with your friends, time you spend with family, time you spend, doing things that you want to do, like, watching TV, stuff, your sleep. You're going to be sacrificing, depending on what your situation is, what you're sacrificing could be different. You could be just sacrificing financially, you could be sacrificing mentally, time, whatever, relationships, but you will be sacrificing something so that you can make it work and, fully commit to this process and what you're going for. So we just covered commitment, long-term, everything, sacrificing, putting the time in. Now the flip side is interest. Interest is really fueled by just curiosity or attraction. You might be interested in a lot of things. You might be interested in painting. You could use that as a hobby. Hobbies a lot of time are interest. They start as interest. They can turn into commitments if you'd like, but they start as interest. Somebody might be interested in coding, so they take some time to code, learn, learning weightlifting. There are so many different interests you could have. You could be interested in anything. You could be interested in wall paint colors. You could be interested in gardening. There's so many things you could be interested in. It's really just fueled by this passion and desire to learn more, interest, intrigue, and just that's what stems it. If commitment is, long-term, interest, not interest, I don't want to say that word, but if commitment is, long-term plan, for a long period of time, interest is more short-term oriented. You might be interested in something that let's say you're interested in basketball. You play basketball every weekend or Sunday at 7 p.m. for recreational. That's an interest. You're not committing too much time. Every Sunday you're putting in an hour and a half to go play some basketball. That's a short-term commitment. It shows you're interested, you enjoy basketball, that's why you play it. That is a short-term commitment, and that's why it's an interest. You're not trying to make it to the NBA. And the final thing that I want to talk about in interest is that it's really fueled and influenced by convenience. It might be convenient. What you like might be, just easier to do than something that you would want to commit to. It's harder to commit to reaching your master's degree than it is to, just maybe learning how to simply code a little bit in Python or whatever program you choose to. You just want to learn, get that satisfaction that you did something, you enjoyed it, it was something that you chose to spend your time doing, and that's why you chose to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. Now that we've covered both commitment and interest, it's really important to compare and contrast what the two are, and like how they can, impact your life, and how it's, important to realize the difference between them. And what better way to understand it is just like comparing what it is. Realistically, what happens with them is that you create relationships and experiences through both. In a commitment, you take the time, you make this pledge to yourself, and I don't know, I can't say commitment because you're not supposed to say commitment when you're describing it, but you make this pledge and agreement that you're going to work towards something, and in that process, you're going to make relationships, you're going to learn new things, you're going to grow, you're going to develop yourself to a new level that you've never reached before, because realistically, you can't have known that because you've never experienced everything that it took to get there. Versus interest is going to be a short-term thing. You're going to get your pleasure, you're going to enjoy it, but it might fade out in and out. Interests change, that's one thing, but interest can turn into a commitment if you continue to fuel the passion and the feelings towards it. The next thing you know, you might just be committed to it. Next point is talking about commitment and success and interest. Interest you can get sparked in interest. You might be interested, like I'm gonna use the coding thing again. You might be interested in coding, learn a little bit, learn the basics, get familiar with it. But if you turn it into a commitment turns into success. Once you're committed to it, you're working towards it, you're growing, you're learning, you're becoming better at it. You start just noticing that you know more about it, you seem more comfortable with it, everything's going a lot more smoothly with it, and this can lead into success. As you learn and develop yourself in this certain interest, and over time you notice that you become committed to it, it's that you're going to become successful in whatever you're doing, because the more time you spend in it, the more experience and the more you know about it, evidently. Finally, I want to talk about personal growth, because this channel is here to encourage you to grow yourself, develop yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, in every aspect, financially, and commitment really does lead into personal growth. Interest might, it's good. I say it's really important, obviously, to have hobbies. Give yourself something that takes your time away from focusing on like just work. You have to have some passion, something to discuss. Make yourself more interesting. Just stuff that you enjoy in your life. You don't want it to be just hammer, work. You want to have interest, hobbies, stuff that gives you pleasure in life. But with commitment, commitment is what's going to drive your personal growth and development, make you a better person, because once you're committed to something, you're learning, say it's a new skill like coding, you're learning something, you're growing, you're expanding your mind, you're becoming more intelligent, you're becoming more knowledgeable, and that's really leading you to become a better version of yourself that you weren't before you did this. So commitment leads to personal growth. Everybody has interest, everybody has commitments. Now that you know the difference between the two, you can better analyze and look into your life and see where you spending your time in interest, what interest can you turn into commitments, what commitments don't really need to be commitments, and you can just leave them as interest. Either way, do what makes sense for you and helps improve your life. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, more content coming out. Working on this recording schedule. I'm getting this video up right now, gonna edit it very soon, get it out within the next day or two so that I have content up. But other than that, I hope you guys are doing great. You can see the Halloween, the little pumpkin, it's Spooktober, so I hope you guys are having a great month. As always, don't forget the power to transform your lives lies within you. Don't stop learning, don't stop growing, don't stop launching towards your dreams. I'm your host, Andrew Savina, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.